Hi, welcome to ITech 136 Principles of Programming. In this lecture, we're going to talk about function object and scope of variables. In Python, everything is an object, including function. That means the object has type, identity, and value. What that really means is you can use function in an assignment statement, just like any other object. In this case, when you're using a function in the assignment statement, do not add the parenthesis. In this statement here, I make func, I assign print face to func. Notice that there's no parenthesis here. Please do not put parenthesis. I am just assigning a function to another variable. And now, print face or func are the same thing. They refer to the same function. This can make a very interesting program. In this program, I have a print head, a human head, and a monkey head, and then the print figure, where the face is a function object. So in this program, I will ask user enter 1 to draw monkey, 2 for human, and then print figure and pass in different head. And let's see how this function work, or how this program work. This is the program, and let's run that. Let's draw the human. If I select 2, it will draw the human, as you can see here. And if I run this again, say choose 1, it will draw the monkey head. The heads are different, but the body are the same. What happens if I input something different? It didn't do anything because there's no out of choice 3. So this is one of the usage using a function as an object. You can pass a function as an argument to another function, and that function can call the function. As you can see here, I pass this as a face, so I can call face. Face and will be synonymous to whatever you pass, monkey head or human head. Scope of the variables. A variable or function object is only visible to a part of the program is known as the object scope. What that really means is, when a variable is created inside a function, the variable scope is limited to the inside of the function. This is what we call the local variables. We have created variable inside the function. They are called local variables. They have what we call the local scope. And the scope of the variable extends from the assignment to the end of the function. And once the function terminates, all the local variables go out of scope, meaning all the local variables for that function are gone from the memory. Local variables include the formal parameter. Global variables are variables defined outside the function. So it's very easy to distinguish between local and global. Local means inside the function. Global means outside the function. And if you have a global variable, and if you want to change the variable inside the function, you have to use a global statement. And global statement is not needed if the global variable is not changed. In other words, if you just want to get the global variable value. Global variables should generally be avoided with few exceptions, especially by beginner programmer. You will write much better program by not using global variables. And you should limit the global variable to like constant, like a global constant, like pi or e or whatever constant that you use in the program. Here's an example with a global variable. Can you tell me what is a global variable and what is a local variable? Global variables is any variables defined outside the function. So as you can see here, employee name is a global. This is a global variable. What the local variable? Well, the name is a local variable. So what about this employee name? Well, this employee name is global variable, but this will not work. This program will not update the global variable because it would think this is a local variable employee name. And then what do I say about local variable? After the function terminate, all the local variable go out of scope. So if I run this program, and I will comment out this line first, you will see that enter employee name, Bob. Employee name is NA. And if I add the global statement, this tells Python employee name is a global variable, and I am going to change the employee name global variable employee name inside the function. So if I run this again, now the employee name, which is a global variable, got changed. So don't forget to use a global to tell Python this is a global variable that you want to change the global value. A namespace map names to object, names as in variable name or function name to object. Python interpreter uses namespace to track all the objects in the program. You can use the locals and the globals built-in function to display all the local and global names. For example, this is a global variables because I declare outside the function, and I create a myfunc. So this is a function. So I have function variables, and then I can show you all the global variable before and after. So if I run this in the PyCharm or in Python, so initial global variable, and then this is the initial global variable. I create my var, which is a global, and you can see my var, this is variable. I create a new variable, and then I create a function. So the third global statement show function. Whenever you add a new function, you add to the global scope. So what happens if I add the local variable? So let's try that. Print local variables, local scope. How about that? Print locals, and not run this. The local variables, as you can see, is the same as the global. Okay, and scope resolution is we remember scope is just an area code where a name is visible. Each scope, such as a global scope for global variable or local scope for the local variable or function, has a own namespace. So if a namespace contains a name at specific location in the code, then the name is visible, and the programmer can use. Um, for most part, you can there's like a three nested scope in a Python, but actually there's four, but these are the three that you're gonna see. Built-in scope, like a built-in name, like a int, string, list, range. These are the built-in to the Python. Global scope contain all the globally defined names outside the any function. Local scope are the one that contain all the um, variable or function, local function and local variable inside the function. So when the name is referenced in the code, the local scope will be first checked, followed by global, and finally built in that order. And if it cannot find that name, then you got a name error. And the process of searching for a name in the variable namespace is called the scope resolution. And here's an example. Take a look at this program. What are the local scope? What are the global? And how are this A and B and temp related to A and B and temp here? How are they related? Well, the global variable A, B, and temp are first created in a global scope. And then I pass the global variable A and B to the average function. So what that means is the average function created local variable A and B. Even though I have an A and B here, they are different variables. They have different variable scope. The A and B and temp in the average function are not the same A and B and temp in the global scope. They are two different variables. And then when the function return, when the average function return, all the local variable A, B, and temp go out of scope or delete from the memory. So the temp value return, and then it will print the same and look at the name temp in the global scope, and it display the temp. This temp here will display the global scope temp. So if I run this program, just to show you, A is 5, B is 10, temp is 5 plus, 5 plus 10, which is 15. I call the function. This function returns something. Notice that something I don't do. The average is 7.5, which is the TMP here. This value I return. But this TMP, as you can see, is not 7.5. This temp is still the global variable temp, not the local variable. The local variable temp is a return value which I print as an average. And I did not assign it to anything, so once I print it, the value is gone. Okay? And this is about the scope and the scope resolution of variable. Thank you.